Hello, my name is Sharon Ballard. I'm one of the librarians at the Palm Springs Public Library, and today I am here to share with you my brown paper bag caramel corn recipe. It's been a favorite at our house for years and years, and I wanted to share it with you. I have the recipe up here, but it's also going to be online, and I guess we'll get started. It is something that once you start eating it, it's hard to stop if you like caramel corn. So I hope you try it. What you start with is homemade popped popcorn. Not microwave popcorn, but the kind of kernels that you buy in a bag and you take it home. Maybe you have an air popper, maybe you have a pan that you cook it on in the stove. There are all kinds of poppers. Mine happens to be air popped, and it's nice and light. And what we're gonna do is put together our ingredients, put our popcorn in our cooking bag, and it's just a plain old brown sack that you get at the grocery store. And I have 16 cups of popped popcorn, which was actually a half a cup of unpopped corn. So a lot of times for my family, I make a double batch. That's why it's such a big sack. But today I'm making a single batch to get you started. What you're going to need is a half a cup of butter. And usually if you buy like the pound package, it's just one of these is a half a cup, so you don't even have to measure. You just unwrap it and put it in. I'm going to be making the caramel sauce in the microwave, so you need a microwave dish of some sort. What?
The brown sugar.
Oh, I'm sorry. So you're going to start with some butter and a half cup of butter, 1 cup of brown sugar. And if you can get the dark brown, I like the dark brown better because it gives it a deeper caramel taste. So there's our brown sugar. 1/4 cup of corn syrup. So it's not much for those of you that are worried about using corn syrup. I know it's not healthy for us, but maybe the butter and the brown sugar aren't either. I don't know. But in these times, we need to treat ourselves. So, and then a little bit of salt, 1/8 teaspoon salt. That's it. And 1/4 teaspoon baking soda. And this is what kind of puffs it up. And this is why when you do use it in a dish, you want it to be big enough that this is going to boil up and it's going to kind of puff because of that, of the baking soda. And we're going to want to, once it's hot, boil it for a minute. So you want something that'll give you some room so that you don't have hot caramel sauce all over the microwave. So something big like this. So we've got our butter, our brown sugar, corn syrup, salt, and baking soda. That's it. And our popcorn. That's all you need. And we're going to put this in the microwave. Get the butter melty. And once it's melted, you want to stir it really well. And eventually it will kind of turn kind of a whiter, lighter color. And that means that it's all mixed together and it's ready to go. I like to make peanut brittle too, and that's the same concept with that. You put that baking soda in and it goes So it's not quite as big of a puff with this, but it is there. And one thing I wanted to mention too, you can add nuts. You know, sometimes I'll add peanuts, walnuts, pecans, almonds, whatever you might want. But I would put that on top of my popcorn, not on the bottom, because the nuts are going to go to the bottom anyway. So then they get lots of caramel sauce on them. And also something I didn't mention, I did this before we started today. The popcorn, you don't want like the Old Maids or kernels or the little hulls and stuff. So if you kind of put the popcorn through your hand, or let all that stuff go to the bottom, and then just pour the good stuff out, the nice full kernels, that makes it even better. And nuts are good too, unless you don't want nuts, then that's your choice. I guess I better check. To the side. If our butter's melting. And it is. So I'm mixing it together. And we're going to have to heat and mix more until it comes to a boil, but I just wanted to give you an idea of what we're doing here. And I originally set the timer for 2 minutes, because the worst thing is if you overcook it, you can always put more time on. But this way it'll stop and remind you to stop and stir. Give that a shot. It's just had another 30 seconds on it, so I figured that would be kind of good for another stir. And if you can see how it's kind of turning lighter and getting kind of puffy, I call it, I guess. It smells good too. So now is kind of, I'm going to set it for 2 minutes, but I'm going to watch this because I don't want it to roll. And I think if you really want dark, you can get dark corn syrup too. So that would, it depends how much, deepness of flavor you want. So it's been going for 30 seconds. And I was talking and not watching. It's boiling. This is a good microwave. Well, since I spilled, I'm gonna put it on the plate. Because there's nothing worse than having a gooey mess in the microwave. So I'm going to start it, but it was already starting to boil. So I'm going to be real careful watching this, I think. Yep. That was just 10 seconds, so. This is something you want to stay with. You don't want to watch it. Whoops. And it's hot and it's boiling. I know once or twice when I've done it, if I haven't gotten this cooked enough, it kind of got chewier than I wanted, if that makes sense. So I'm going to try to cook this a little bit more, but it is getting really, really hot. But 5 seconds in the microwave is I don't want to have it all over. I don't need a volcano in there. how it doubled when it's boiling. So really, you know, sometimes I use you can use a casserole dish. It just depends about pouring it. So here's our popcorn. And all I'm gonna do is stir this a little bit more. And I think it's cooked. And I'm gonna dump it on the popcorn. I'm gonna dump it probably in, maybe 3 or 4 clumps and stir it a little bit. So here we go. You don't have to worry about covering every single piece when you're doing this, because while it's in the microwave, it's going to continue to melt around the popcorn, and we're going to shake it and stir it as it cooks. So all of the popcorn will have caramel on it when you get done. And sometimes, if I want it really, I make this sometimes for Christmas presents, and if I want to make it just a little bit gooier, I will add extra syrup and brown sugar. I make a little extra of the topping, just because I like it that way. Okay, end of the sauce. Okay, it's mixed. You can see it, but it's in there and it's mixed. And we're going to close it up and put it in the microwave. And we're going to cook it for 1 minute. And we're going to pull it out, shake it, stir it, cook it, do that 2 more times, and we'll throw it on the cookie sheet, let it cool, and our caramel corn is good to go. And I bet you that I might be able to talk some of our staff members into helping me get rid of the leftovers today. So we'll see. They're usually pretty good at that. So, doesn't take long to make it. We've got 15 seconds left on this first. And the bag gets warm, and that caramel sauce is hot. So this isn't something that you want to send the kids into the kitchen and do by themselves. This needs adult supervision, or maybe a team that knows their way around the kitchen. So it's hot, but it's turning into caramel corn. Can you see? Yeah. Yep. And keep that heat in there. Second cycle, 1 minute, and we'll be back in 50 seconds. All right, we're back. Minute's up, so it's time to shake and stir. This is our 3rd time, so we're almost done here. Like when I was growing up, downtown we had, I called it the caramel corn store, but they had caramel corn and caramel apples, and I think that was the first time I'd had warm caramel corn. And boy, that was a treat. They had lots of other things for sale, but you could smell that caramel corn blocks away from the store. And unfortunately, it's not there anymore. It was there when I was in middle school, which was called junior high at that time. So
Where are you from, Sharon?
I am from South Dakota, land of infinite variety. They had 100-degree temperatures this past Sunday, and on Tuesday they had snow. So where I used to live, they got 10 inches of snow on Tuesday. I used to live in the Black Hills, up in the mountains. And one last time. And it depends. Sometimes I don't put it on here if I'm home and I'm just feeling lazy. I'll just keep stirring it because you want it as it cools to kind of break it apart. But so that you can see what I'm doing, I'm going to put it on this cutting sheet today. Just spread it out and let it cool. It is hot. What do we have? Oh, I see a kernel. I didn't want to get any kernels in there. I missed one. A little bit more. Okay, time to do the dishes. There you go. Done. That big sticky bowl. And I guess I'm using a different spatula. You can use the same, whatever. But this is warm, and all I'm going to do, in 10 minutes you'll be eating this popcorn, maybe sooner, depends how warm you like it. But that's all there is to it. If you wanted bigger chunks, you wouldn't have to do this. You know, if you wanted it more like a popcorn ball. But this is done, and I can try a piece. It's good. Needs to cool a little bit more. It's still a little bit sticky, but I hope you'll give it a try because it is tasty. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.